Hey everyone, it's Matt C doing a drive time update, and I don't know if I'm getting more OCD or what, but I'm really liking how like every other video is a drive time update, and every one in between that is a driven stories. It looks nice on the channel page. So I don't know, maybe I'm still, you make these things, then you figure out, what people like and also what you like to do for people. And maybe every other one is gonna kind of be a drive time update for the foreseeable future. I don't know. It's, you gotta pick a standard, even if it's arbitrary, and just it helps you stick to that, because regularity is key. And so I've got the KYRIE proofs, version 2 of the proofs coming in. Man, speaking of OCD, like, there's just so much, like, having the book in your hands. I say in my hands, I keep touching my nose, I'm sorry, I'm not picking at it, I promise. I just have a habit of scratching it, which is terrible. Having the book printed by someone else and then placed into your hands is so much different than having the book, figuratively in your hands, where you're just, it's on your computer, it's up to you when it's posted, it's up to you how the colors look on your screen, it's up to you, all the variables are handled by you. That's a very comforting feeling, but the reason it's so comforting is because it's so little risk. And it's so little risk because it's easy. And anyone can do it, and everyone does do it. But it's difficulty comes when you have to rely on others. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. This is me kind of philosophizing about how maybe this could have been a driven stories, but it's not quite a story issue. It's more of a campaign tip for myself as much as for anyone. There's an interesting, look at me scratching the outside of my nose again. There's an interesting phenomenon when you start a campaign and it doesn't go gangbusters the first day, which is all but like 3 campaigns a year. It's an interesting phenomenon where I was trying to like meme this during the campaign. It's kind of like a gallows humor of just me kind of admitting publicly that I'm trying to tamp this down and keep it, and it was a daily struggle. I never found the right image to meme it, but when you go through training for saving someone who's drowning, and they always tell you, you can't just like go up and give them a bear hug and then start swimming away with them to the shore. You have to hold them at arm's length, at a serious confined distance from yourself, with a big as much room as possible, but basically between you and their own arms, their own ability to control the situation, if that kind of makes sense. So you can come up close behind them and carry them away, but like the standard sort of way that you hear about in the Army or something like that, or Navy, is grabbing their shirt and then holding that as far away from you as you can, straight out arm's length, dragging them that way. At least that's my understanding from pictures and stuff like that. And that's because the person who's drowning is overwhelmed and single-minded about a particular instinct that's overcoming them at that moment, and that's to grab onto anything they possibly can, including the person who's trying to save them, push them down so that they can get up to the surface. Obviously, if you're trying to save someone, you should already have them on the surface, but I guess that kind of ties into this metaphor too. But yeah, so it's kind of funny. I don't know what that's called, that reflex that makes you want to save yourself in a way that ends up putting the life of the person who's trying to save you at risk, as well as obviously putting yourself at risk. And whatever that's called, drowner syndrome, let's call it, that's something that I think everyone has to acknowledge, face down, and get over in their own campaign, because it's scary. This is about relying on others, and a lot of this has to do with, especially in 2019, getting on other people's shows on YouTube, asking other people to send your content out. I'm trying to think of all the different ways that you have to rely on others, and you could have panic attacks when they don't come through the way that you're thinking that they should come through. We'll get to that in a second. But friends, family, influentials, any kind of person who you want to buy the book that you think would be a big boost to sales if they did buy it. But particularly, like gaining visibility by having your book be introduced to audiences on other people's platforms, other people's audiences on their platforms. That's there's a drowner syndrome thing that happens where the more you're stressed out about the success of your campaign, the more you start really reaching for other people to help you out, and the more you get you are tempted to be demanding about that, the more you really want to grab them and yank them into access to their their demographic, their audience. And that's obviously that's a dangerous thing. You're asking for someone to get close enough to you for you to yank them underwater, so that you can have you who are drowning can have a that your instincts will think that you're got a few more seconds of life, or you're a little closer to safety, even though you're making your situation worse. So that's why a lot of people burn their bridges over the course of a campaign, or if their campaign fails, they shoot off a lot. I got on a few channels. I actually got on something I learned. I got on a couple before I had even launched, and I was trying to promote, people signing up for the pre-launch page. I think that just kind of, pre-launch pages kind of confuse people. It confused me until I really sat down and learned about what it was. You scroll through and you just say, oh, you just want me to enter my email? Like, what is this? I'll just do this another time, or I'm not doing this. I'll just wait till the book's out. I just want to see the book. I want to see the price. I want to click that and put in my credit card info. I don't want to sign up for an email. So I showed up on a couple key live streams. Also, group live streams are tough, and there's always going to be someone more talkative than you. So I've never been on a group live stream where I feel like there was a lot of room for everyone equally. But I went on a couple live streams that were very good for sharing my own content to a new audience, but the book wasn't launched yet, so I couldn't close the deal with those people, unfortunately. I think it did kind of help with some awareness somewhat, so people were probably more familiar with it once it came around, once the page was launched. But sorry, I keep tilting it up too much. But yeah, so that's just kind of something I've been thinking about. I'm sorry, this is kind of rambling, but drowner syndrome's real, and it's not anyone else's responsibility to help you. I guess that's the difference between drowning and an Indiegogo campaign, crowdfunding thing. I think it would be someone else's responsibility to try to save you, but it's not another especially not another creator's responsibility to help you succeed with your own creation. It's not another person's platform's responsibility to buy your book or to sell it amongst themselves. And you can start to feel, your instinct is going to tell you that they do owe you that. That's what your instinct is telling you every day. All these people owe me, because if they don't owe me, how am I going to get a book out? Don't think like that. Know that that is what your instinct's telling you, and then kill that instinct, because there's a better way, and that's to understand that it's really on you to inspire people to come over to you as a platform yourself. That's something that you have to be working on as you develop things, and that has to be done months in advance. And maybe you started too soon. You know, sometimes I think I started too soon with the campaign. Maybe I should have spent a lot more time generating content on YouTube and elsewhere first before starting. Even though we succeeded with our crowdfunding, we could have done better maybe if I'd spent more time earlier. I did too many live streams. Should have done short content. Anyway, speaking of short content, I'm going to wrap this up. I don't want to sit in the parking lot for 2 minutes like I keep doing. So, thanks for checking this out. Tell me what your thoughts are about drowning syndrome and how to overcome it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And got proofs, version 2 proofs coming in today, and I'll be checking those out. And hopefully things go well with that. Hopefully I like what I see. I think, and it looks good, such so that you feel like you're getting your money's worth, every penny, and then some. And and if it's approved, then I'll be letting them know, and then we'll be going to the next stage. Getting things sent off to China. So I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.